Y'all are so silly. Hello, Miss Melissa, who is saying that this is the longest ever wait. It is just now 7 o'clock. I just started the timer a little bit early and got it started so that you guys could pop in a little early so you guys could chit chat and all that kind of stuff. So welcome, welcome. If you haven't already popped over to the Facebook group as well, I would love to see you say something in the chat over there and show Jamie's channel, Jamie's Facebook group. I am right now clicking around to get the right link, I think. It is one of those days. Today has been a technology issue day, so that has been fun. During some editing, it's hard to be two places. Yeah, I'm looking at two chats, and I'm all over the interwebs at the same time, right? I'm just teasing you. But you did, I did see that picture of that humongous halibut, and I'm waiting for my shipment. Anyway, I'm just joking, but that was super cool for you to share with us over on Facebook. Heather says her internet has been wonky since Sunday. Oh my God. You're going to make us watch both you and ECR. Oh my goodness. Yes. Not my fault. The third, anyway, one Wednesday each month, I am going to be going live on I can't talk tonight, guys. I am so sorry. One Wednesday night a month, I am going live on my channel and on Not2Shabby's Facebook group at 7 p.m. to share a project using the most recent goodies that I got from Jamie at the Not2Shabby shop, which I did see that she is in the chat over here. So welcome, Miss Jamie. We can go back up in the chat so I can make sure that I can go ahead and say hello to everyone, including Miss Leah. Hello, Miss Leah, over on Twitch. Okay, so Jamie is in two chats and Cordelia is in two chats, so that is super awesome. Just to let you know, Leah, we were playing a little bit more of the Stream Racers things while, of course, I was doing my behind-the-scenes stuff here, but that was someone else's channel. If you want to know where to go for that, because she is going to plan on doing some more of that, and I know how much you love those cars. Melissa said hello from Alaska. And Heather is from South Florida. Awesomeness. Welcome, welcome. And I really hope I get to meet you soon, Heather. I know we're planning on kind of meeting up at one of those trade shows or scrapbook expos coming up. And Miss Gloria Wolf is in the house. If you're not familiar with Gloria, she is the lovely lady that has created a really cool glue topper. So I always give you guys links to that. Melissa complaining about the longest wait ever. Hello, Miss Brenda. Brenda is in the house as well. Well, I am so happy to see all of you guys. You guys rock. Bethany is here quietly watching, which means she's trying not to keep her little ones awake. Oh, and Melissa apparently just got Elizabeth's notice. So I will plan on popping in over on Elizabeth's channel in a bit as well. However, she's probably going to be about done, which means, as usual, I'll need to catch the replay, which is one of the awesome things. You can always catch the replay if you have to miss any of it. Melissa is saying, shh. Okay, so anyway, what I'm going to be working with today is the Just For You, a stamp and die of the month. I've already done one video this month on that one. Let me go ahead and switch the camera if I can find my stuff again. Like I said, it has been one of those days. I was editing earlier and kind of had the blue screen of death about like 5 or 6 times on just one video, so that really, really sucked. I think I figured out what it is. I think it's where NVIDIA did an update, which means somebody else probably did an update which prompted it, and for whatever reason it wasn't working with my ancient version of Power Director when I was doing some video editing. So okay, now I'm in the right one, and it's not working. I'm sorry, guys. I'm also having issues with my cameras. And here I am. See, I'm moving around, but you can see my hand is kind of stuck there, so I've got to unplug this guy and plug it back in. And it's still not even seeing that I unplugged it. Oh my goodness. Give me just a second while I get that straightened out. See if it's going to reactivate. Come on. Okay, it is back. Fantastic. It is bright, but it is back. So let's see if I can get that. There we go. That looks a lot better. Awesome. Okay. If it wasn't for tech issues, you would not know that you were on a Debbie J's Crafting Corner live stream, right? Okay, so anyway, I'm going to go ahead and just start doing a little stamping. I'm going to stamp in some VersaFine Onyx Black ink, and I think I'm going to do some heat embossing because it is always so pretty. And the way I like to do my heat embossing when I'm doing any kind of black lines for that embossing is I like to stamp in basically a black ink that's going to stay wet longer, and then go over it with some clear embossing powder. And that is because the last time I tried to emboss in black embossing powder, the powder went everywhere and it makes a mess. And it always winds up where I don't want it. So, and yes, that is plugged in. Good job. I haven't decided exactly, as usual, what I want to do, but I've got an idea. And I want to make it different than my last card, you know. I don't want to do the same thing over and over again. But these are so cute, and I think that the set of cards that I made were just adorable, using each of these little flower bundles in that little watering can, and I think that was perfect. But this time I think I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to try this, and we're going to see if I don't know if I've got my paper positioned right. If I have my paper positioned right, then I should be able to just flip it and be able to restamp and it go in the place that I want it to go. Kind of like a turnabout. Let me just double check this. So right about here is in the center, and if it overlaps some of the green leaves, that is totally fine too. Okay, and this is just the little tulip bundle. So it's a bunch of little flowers. They're all those cute little tulips. This also means I'm going to need to emboss multiple times. So Heather says, I absolutely love this set. I don't want to use my paper. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp that down and make sure I've got this out and ready to go. Now the VersaFine Clear ink does stay wet decently long, and I think I just remembered something I should not do. I'm going to get embossing powder all over everything. Let me go ahead and see if I can get the second one stamped without it getting dry first. And then I can reposition everything. Hopefully it will work. One thing when I'm using Wow embossing powder that I think is super nice is, even if I don't use my anti-static powder tool, it's usually okay. Wow embossing powder is one of those that has got an anti-static property to it, so it usually works out really good. Okay, so Leah is cheating and watching both me and Elizabeth, so be sure to tell Elizabeth that we said hey. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and heat these little flowers up. And if she is still going when I get done over here, we can always raid her over on YouTube. So I can get that set up and everything too. Because I literally was setting everything up on my computer, making sure I had all the things where I needed them, probably about like maybe 5 minutes before I started the stream. Okay, so that looks good. I'm going to go ahead and set that back in there where I think is about even. And then of course I'm going to have to double check it. So that is 4 and 4. That looks like it's about the right spot. And now I can move my stamp so it can do the other two. And if you're not aware of what a raid is, because I know some of you guys have been with me for a while and some of you may have been just dropping in for your first time to see some fun things with Not Too Shabby. Basically what I'm talking about when I say a raid, it's similar to what Twitch does with all of their live streamers. You can go on, yeah, I think this is going to work out good. I'm going to set that right about there. But when you're watching someone's live stream over on Twitch, when these, no, don't do that. This is going to be really hard to reposition now. I've got some ink now on my paper, and that's not going to quite do what I want it to do because it's going to be almost impossible for me to get it lined back up because it didn't stick to my sticky grid like I intended. I'm going to still try it. I may have to start over. But you know what? It is just paper, so that is totally fine too. One of the positives is that I am using my sticky grid, so it may actually be in about the right spot. And because I use the sticky grid, I really don't use the magnets that much, but I'm going to have to give this one a shot and try it. And because that ink wasn't quite dark enough, it's going to be a little bit hard to see. Let me clean the stamp a little bit better and see if I can see it better. I've actually got another idea too before I do anything more, getting any more ink on my paper. Okay. I've got this. I've got my transparency that has printed images of everything. So I'm going to take all of the stamps off to start off with. And then I'm going to line up the stamp I want to put down on top of this, right where, well, actually, let me do it this way. I'm going to line this up right where I want it, on top of where I just have that image on there that I don't want. And then I can line this up on top of those dark black lines. And there we go. That looks like it's almost perfect. Even if it's off by a little bit, because that ink that I put down before, the mistake was light, it's probably not going to be noticeable, especially with the embossing. Okay, let's see if that works. Okay. Yay! Now I can remove that transparency, and we're going to go ahead and stamp again with that dark VersaFine Clear ink. Now let's see if I got it in the right spot. So I think I did. Yes, it looks good enough. I mean, I can tell where I missed it a little bit, but I think it's close enough, and the other ink is so light, you're not going to be able to really notice it. Oh, poor Ellie was sick yesterday. Goodness. That's not good. Okay, now I'm going to try turning it around. It should be in the right spot. And then I can, let's just double check. No, it is not in the right spot. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and emboss this one. And then I could reposition my last one so it's about across from where I want it. Right? So it's going to be over here on this side. Yeah, illness is not fun. And since I'm going to be just kind of laying it where I want it now, I'm going to go ahead and just reposition everything and have it right up against the edge in case I need to double stamp, which I probably won't need to. And I want this to go right about there. I'm going to say that that is going to be close enough. Go ahead and pick up the stamp. Now these are really, really good to use when you're wanting to position your stamps and you want it to be just so, because it's real easy to put things down in the wrong spot. Just check in the chat, see what all is going on. Okay, so that is going to be close enough. And we'll go ahead and heat that last one up too. Hooray for technology. I just noticed your comment, Cordelia. Yeah, there's always something. But I did go ahead and run the update for my video card because I think that was probably what it was. Usually when I get the blue screen of death, I just get irritated and I don't look at the screen long enough to see, does it have an error message? This time I noticed that there was one, and I had it on there. It was up there just long enough for me to see like the first like 3 letters. So I think it had to do with my NVIDIA graphics card having an update. And I did notice that, guess what? They had an update yesterday. So if it was an update issue, then it's probably because the update was yesterday. And when I mentioned that to my husband, he said, well, unless you made a change with your software, it shouldn't have had anything to do with it. Of course, Windows might have done something too, which would have prompted NVIDIA to do their update. You never know. Everything has to work together, right? Okay. So now I'm going to put my regular acetate down, my protective paper over my sticky grid after I get all of the stamps off of it, so I can put my MISTI out of the way and I can get busy working on the rest of this card. On the plus side though, guys, I did get 2 of the videos edited that I've got planned to go up in the next couple of weeks, so I'm reaching my goals, right? Okay, so we've got this guy, and then I think, and now I'm going to need to get out my MISTI again because I forgot. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to put my watering can in the middle, and maybe just the one tulip. Actually, I changed my mind. I'm going to do just the one tulip by itself and then grab out a die. Could cut out. This stamp set does have the stamp and die of them do come with a stamp and die, so I could do it that way. And that may look good. I'm going to have to see. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp that one out on a scrap, and I think I'm going to emboss again too. You guys know me well enough to know that I never know for sure what I'm going to do until I do it. Even with a good idea in the back of my head. Oh gosh, internet glitched again. Do you guys have storms or something down there, Heather? I mean, we don't have anything here, but that doesn't mean that South Florida doesn't. And we're not into hurricane season yet, so it's not anything to do with one of those. Okay, so that one looks pretty. Okay, so Bethany is talking about the Cricut Summit that starts tomorrow. And I think she posted a link for you guys to get your free ticket over on my group, on my Facebook group, or on my Facebook page. I know she mentioned something about it, but I don't remember if that's where I saw it or not. But if she did, head over there to get your ticket so you can see. I mean, I'm thinking that even if you don't have a Cricut, it should be useful because a lot of us do have some type of an electronic cutting machine. So most of the techniques that'll work on a Cricut will also work on a scan and cut or silhouette. Okay, so that looks pretty. And now I'll get out the die that goes along with it. And then we'll see what it's going to look like over the image I have before. I know there's no color yet, but don't worry, I'll get that taken care of in a minute. But I want to make sure that the idea I've got is working first. And I may do a little extra die cutting, like a circle or an oval or something as well, but I'm not 100% sure yet. It's just going to depend on how this is going to look. I mentioned to you guys last night that one of the tricks that Melissa had mentioned was that scrapbook.com is now showing that you could use 2 magic mats instead of one of your glass plates. This is a good example of what you can do with it. I'm not concerned about that shifting around and me needing to see it. So this time I'm going to go ahead and use 2 of the magic mats. So that should help preserve my plates even better than they have been using the magic mats, because you guys know I love this. It's been working so well and I haven't had to replace any of my plexiglass plates up to now. And let's just see. And it does cut out fine, not a problem. I would say that if you're doing anything with intricate cuts, or if it's something that you need to make sure that it doesn't shift around on your platform at all, that you use one of the plates where you can see through it. But using 2 magic mats is going to be a lifesaver for a lot of your plates. Okay, let me get this stuff out the way, and then we can take a look and see what this is going to look like. So adding some color and everything in, that would look fine, but I think I do want to have this on top of something else in the center there. So what I'm going to do first is some easy ink blending. I think I'm going to use one of these brushes instead of my larger ones, because it's going to be a smaller area. And I'm going to grab out some grass skirt. Let's see what color ink it is that's stuck on my brush. Hello, Bee. How are you doing, hon? So Cordelia says, my card design plans always seem to go awry. Okay, I had to stretch my screen out. I've got the basically have that part kind of popped out. Yeah, I think I do want to do this. I'm going to just do some soft green in the center. I was kind of thinking of doing all like black and white, but I can't really do that. I have to have a little bit of color, you know? And adding this little bit of color here in the center means that I'm not going to have to color the whole image. It's going to save me some time. Anytime that you can use a little bit of ink blending, it will save you time with your markers. Okay, I'm going to come out a little bit more this way. Okay, and then let's take a look again. That's actually, I think that's going to work. Okay, so now I think I want this guy to be pink. So here's my PP4. These are my Spectra Noir markers. This one's going to be a bright pink. I'm putting down the darker ones first, and then come back in with PP3, which is a little bit lighter, and blend those in. And then I'm going to come back in with this darker one down at the base to give it some more depth. And then let's take my CT1, if I can get to it behind everything else. I'm just going to color in that little stamen that's in the center there. Okay. And now I'm going to grab some greens. I think I want to go with my lime green colors. So I've got the LGs. This one is LG4 and LG5. So the stem, I'm going to have it with the darker color. Just come on down and then bring up a little bit the darker coming from the base of each of my leaves. And then have the softer color near the top. Nice pastel-y colors. And there's not really enough contrast there. I may need to do a white circle around it. Let's see, I think I've got a couple of punches over here, unless I put them elsewhere. If I don't, then I will just grab out a die and do that. So give me just a sec. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and die cut this circle out. It might be too big, but I think it'll still work. I told you I do a lot of seat in my pants crafting, which means for you guys, just sit down and play and let the products inspire you, or get your inspiration from watching somebody else do a project and take their ideas and make them your own. Basically, all creativity, it's inspired by something, right? Sometimes I get my inspiration from going for a walk. Sometimes it is watching a TV show. Sometimes it's just looking at these. Okay, this stamp set, my original thought was my original cards. I was inspired to do them exactly the way that I did them for that the last video that you guys saw me make with them. And that's kind of how it works. I sit down and I start playing with a lot of different products, and they basically tell me what they want me to do with them. So I think that is kind of cool. I even got out my Simon Hurley lunar paste today, and I haven't figured out exactly how I'm going to use it on this card, but I think I'm probably going to do that. Okay, so we can do this. Oh, that is going to be pretty. I think I like that. Okay. Question is, do I want to do any coloring on these additional flowers? So we're going to have that medallion there. I can bring the green out further. And then we're going to have our tulip right in the center. And you guys can barely see the green, so there is a little bit of green around the edges there, so I probably do need to bring it out some more. But do I need to do any additional coloring on that? I think I kind of want to keep it with the black and white on those flowers, so that the pop of color is going to be my pink tulip. So I'm going to bring some more green out. Yes, it's going over some of those flowers. And B's got a good idea to do yellow around the edge. So I think I may do that as well. So I've got the green coming out further, and then I can do some yellow around the edges there. The rest of the way. So let me grab out a yellow. And I don't yet suffer from full set syndrome. Kind of do, but not really. There's a lot of colors from Catherine Pooler, and I love her inks that I don't have yet. So a lot of times I go back to the ones that I already have, which I've got a bunch of the Distress Ink minis. I do have a yellow in it where I don't. Oh, I forgot about this one. I do have a yellow. This is one of the new yellows that just came out from Catherine Pooler, so I think I'm going to use that one. grabbing out my yellow brush, and let's make sure that none of that red or orange is going to come off of it. That looks good. And this one is called, I can't friggin' read it, Whipped Honey. Whipped Honey. That was one of the new ones that just came out. I believe it was like in January. And this is basically, I'm putting it all down around the outside of that green. So it's going to look kind of like the tulips are. First off, they're in the distance, so all the colors are mixed together. And the tulips here are like yellow ones, and then we've got our bright, bold pink one that's going to be in the center. Okay, so let's take a look again. Yes, I think that's going to look good. Okay, let me go ahead and trim down the base. So this is currently at, this one's actually a little bit wide, meaning I cut my panels wrong when I cut them. So this one is at 4.5. So I am going to cut them all down at about 1/4 inch on all 4 sides, I think. Actually, okay, you're going to cut 1/2 inch there. I should still keep it in the middle. And then I can bring this about 1/4, actually about 1/8 of an inch in on the top, and 1/8 of an inch in on the bottom to bring it to 5 1/4. I'm kind of thinking you need to tell me, do I need to bring the yellow out even further? Or maybe bring in some blue around the edges, or should I leave it with the white there? Because I'm not 100% sold. I really like this bit, and I like the idea of having this wreath around them, but the colors are not quite doing what I think I want them to do. So I think I might bring in some blue. Now this is going to be blue raspberry. And this one's from Maker Forte. These are all water reactive inks. I'm just kind of come in from the outside for this part so it doesn't blend too much with that yellow and make more green. Oop, too late. Blue is good. Well, luckily this blue, it's blue raspberry, but to me it does look a little bit tealish. So it looks like it has a little bit like of a yellow tint to it, but not a lot. Okay, so now I'm going to try to softly come into the yellow a little bit without blending too much into it. And this side part that I started with is lighter than what my other side is. So, okay. Yeah, I think that looks kind of cool. I'm looking at it in the camera, so whenever I look up, I can see, I might see what you guys are seeing, and it looks nice and bright, and that yellow just kind of makes the pink pop even more, and the white circle behind it definitely makes everything pop. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I think, do I have black card base? Because I think that's what I want to do. That's what I'm doing. I'm putting it all on a black card base. Unlike what I normally do, I'm going to put this down just straight onto, okay. I got everything balling all over the place. Anyway, I'm going to put this straight down onto my card base, and then I'm going to pop that bit up. So not the entire project isn't going to be popped up like I normally do. Okay, we're going to leave that little border all the way around. That goes great with that black embossing. Then I'm going to get some foam tape and pop this up. So I'll pop the circle up. And just put that right there in the center. And then some liquid glue on the back of my little tulip here. I like that. Oh, thank you guys. And I like it when I try something a little bit different and it turns out nice. I did not know I was going to do this until I just did it. I was really thinking about it a little bit ago, trying to figure out, okay, what do I want to do? Okay, now I need to find all of the things that are off to the side and see which sentiment do I want to do. So this one is birthday. And I could start putting them back on here so I can see what they are. So I've got birthday, I've got Easter, I've got Mother's Day. And this one is spring is here just for you. I'm thinking that that is a spring card. Absolutely. I'm also thinking I like the idea of just for you. And I think what I'm going to need to do is, and I should have done this before putting the rest of it on there, unless this pops off. I don't know if my foam will pop off or not, because I need to stamp directly down. It worked. I did not ruin my card. Okay, that is going over there. Let me put some release paper back on there temporarily. And I'm going to stamp down at the bottom. I'm going to stamp just for you. And then we're going to heat emboss that. Before I do that, let me go ahead and put all my stamps away. You don't want to lose your stamps. Yes, it absolutely could. These sometimes it's just so surprising that a sentiment can go, it can change the mood of any design that you do. So you could basically use any kind of sentiment that you want to. And these are just lovely. I think I also might want to do the little hearts, because I haven't really used them yet, and they are darling. And there's the happy. And Jamie adding all of those different sentiments onto one stamp set that fits the season basically makes it so that you could use it lots and lots of times. You don't have to use it as a spring card. You could do Mother's Day card. You can do birthday cards. You can do just because, friendship cards. So you could put basically any kind of a sentiment on there, or you can do like what I did before and mass produce and do a bunch of cards, each having a separate sentiment, or give them as a gift, including little sentiments that they can put on as they need them. Okay, so that's still in my Misty. That's like I was thinking, what happened to that stamp? So that stamp is still in here. It still needs to be cleaned. Okay, so we're going to put this guy down. And I'm going to tape it shut so that it doesn't kind of try to pop up while I'm doing this. So I'm just going to use a little bit of the Best Ever Craft tape on the inside to hold it in place. And then I can put just for you right down in the corner. So we've got that right there, and it looks like it's about straight. And I need to make sure I have my stuff for doing my embossing, so I can do that next. Okay. VersaFine Clear ink. Let's go ahead and stamp that down. Perfect. Add a little bit of the embossing powder. And then we'll go ahead and heat that up. I'm trying to be good and clean up most of my mess as I go along. Doesn't always work. Okay, so Cordelia is saying, looked all around the house because I thought it might have stuck to my sleeve and then fell off somewhere. So I think she's talking about a stamp. Oh, yeah. I've got a heart stamp that I found on my desk that I have no idea which stamp set it came from. And it's been sitting on my desk for at least 6 months because I don't know which stamp set it originally came from. I just found today, because I was straightening up some things in my junk room, which has got all my overflow of supplies and things, I found a die that I know it's 3 berries. So it's from one of my Christmas sets. I have no idea which one it is, other than based on the color of the die, it's got to be a Spellbinder's die. So that means I have to go through and figure that one out at some point. It is so easy to lose some of the things, and when they are this teeny weeny, which I forgot to stamp. Yeah, I wanted to stamp that little guy. This one's going to be quick and easy, quick and dirty kind of thing. I could do a different color. Nope, it needs to be black. That I think will look best. So I'm going to need to take out my embossing powder again if I want this one to be embossed like the rest of the card. At least I remembered before putting the circle back on it, right? Okay. Last time. Okay, so that looks cute. And I'm glad I did go ahead and do the little hearts. That's the thing, we get heart stamps and so many things that you don't know which one I will go through all of my stuff eventually. Hello, Miss Donna. I just saw that you're in the house. Welcome, honey. Okay. Now I can put this back on there. And I think that looks good. However, I'm not going to leave the inside black. I just can't do it. So I need another piece of cardstock to go on the inside. Grab out my paper trimmer. So this means that you can use any color cardstock that you want to for your card bases. I always recommend, though, if you're going to try to make sure that you use heavyweight cardstock for those. They just hold up better. They feel more substantial. I love the way that they feel better than trying to make it out of an 80-pound, because the 80-pound is just a little bit flimsy in comparison. Trimming this down to 3 3/4 by 5. And then let me get my dot liner adhesive back out. Go ahead and add some of that to the back. And then the way that I do this so that I can make sure that it's lined up the way that I want it to be on the inside is I place it on the other side. So this is the front. I'll place it there with the adhesive. You can probably see the adhesive facing up, and then just shut the card, burnish it down, and it is adhered on the inside. So now you can write whatever you want to on the inside, and that is perfect. And of course I'll write on the back of it, because I always sign all of my cards. I'm going to write on the back of it in a white gel pen. But my white gel pens don't work well enough, in my opinion, for me to be willing to do all of the writing and stuff on the inside. So that's going to finish up that card, though. Well, thank you so much. Okay, so Jamie, is there anything going on that I should let these guys know about? I don't think so. I do know that our new releases are coming out on the 1st. I've already got my unboxing video recorded, and so that's going to be ready to go on the 1st. So you guys are gonna absolutely love it. This month I got the box of the month, and there's so many fun things in there to play with. Y'all are gonna just die. You're gonna absolutely love it. Well, thank you so much, Donna. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put my markers away so I remember to do. I really need to go through and do a swatching of all of that stuff too. All of those little maintenance things that you don't think about until you're out of ink. Yeah. Okay, so I am going to say that we're basically done. Over on YouTube, I will have a playlist over here for you guys to see more projects where I'm using Not2Shabby shop products. Let's see, what else do I have going on this week? Because I know I've been keeping you guys posted. I think the next thing that I have is tomorrow doing some crafty streaming over on Twitch that I'm going to recreate into YouTube videos for you guys. But if you want to hang out while I'm playing with some products, you're more than welcome to come on over. And I'm Debbie J's Crafting Corner everywhere. But love for you to come and hang out. Other than that, I think my next live stream is going to be on Tuesday of next week. I do have a card class coming up this weekend, and if you're interested and want any information on that, just go to my website, edu.debbiejscraftingcorner.com. The class this Saturday is going to be hot foils. That's going to be super fun. But I think that is it. Yeah, I think that's it. I'm just looking to see. I've got my hot foil class on Saturday. I'll be crafting again on Twitch on Monday. That's the behind the scenes stuff, and I think you guys are starting to like some of that. And then on Tuesday, we're going to be doing a regular live stream over on my channel, which is on YouTube, Debbie J's Crafting Corner. So yes, we're going to raid Elizabeth. Let me get my YouTube stuff pulled up. If you're watching over on if you're watching on Facebook, one of the things that we're able to do on YouTube, which is kind of cool, it's kind of a new service that YouTube has added into the mix. It's where you can leave one live stream and go to another person's live stream as long as they are either live right then or they are scheduled. So it looks like Elizabeth went live at 7:01. So as soon as we finish up this live stream, we're going to head on over there to see her. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, and you guys rock. What is releasing on the 1st? Not2Shabby Shop does all of their box of the month, paper pad of the month, and clear stamp and die of the month, which this was clear stamp and die of the month for March. All of those come out on the 1st. So what I've got in my video that's coming up, my unboxing, is going to be the box of the month, which has got lots of fun goodies in there. But there will be other folks doing some videos on different products basically at the same time. But I'd love for you to come by and check that out. Also, I do an unboxing for spellbinders for some of the club kits. That's going to be out on my channel on the 1st as well. But you're going to absolutely love all the stuff that Jamie has in store for you for this month. It is fabulous. So thank you again, Jamie, for all of the things. Be sure to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Be sure to hit that like button and comment on this video for for Not Too Shabby in the Facebook group and give her lots and lots of love. She has been super, super, just super supportive and just fantastic to work with, and absolutely love her. So anyway, you guys have a wonderful night. Let's see if I can go ahead and get this to the right, get this looking at what I want it to look at. Let me switch screens real quick. And we're going to head on over to, on YouTube, we're going to head on over to Elizabeth's stream. So you guys have a wonderful night, and I will see you over there. Bye, guys.